I'm hoping it's working. All right, Risha, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Billy. Thank you so much for asking me to share my testimony on the fabulous day and night drops. So I am Canadian. I live in Manzanillo, Mexico, and the only thing available to me in Mexico are the day and night drops. So 1 year ago, when Chris and Joni Budd, fellow Canadians, longtime friends who live in Costa Rica, got a hold of me and told me about the drops, I think maybe Joni had seen my fat pictures on Facebook or something. Because we were in a pretty bad way, Billy. We had bought into our dream home, a mini boutique resort here in beautiful Manzanillo with ocean views, just fabulous. But owning a house in the tropics is going to suck your money dry. We got so broke so fast, and our entire nest egg was completely eaten up. So when they called me, I had no money for the drops. I had absolutely no money. I had not too long prior had a head-on car crash, so therapeutic massage was an important part of my recovery. So I stole out of my massage budget enough for 2 boxes. And I thought, okay, I'll be like the kid with the apple cart, right? I will use 1 box for myself and I'll sell the other box and start making profits. So that's exactly what happened. But I followed Joni's advice to do the system of growth, which I immediately did that same day. And my post when the courier company came to say, hey, my drops are here. I'm so excited to start my program. I actually got 59 comments, of which I sold 20 boxes and 6 new brand partners. So that became the change for my financial independence and my financial future, which takes a lot of worry away. Right. So along the way, I'm doing the drops. I'm following the instructions as planned. I love them. They're so easy. Take the day drops 3 times, morning, night, and dinner, and leave the night drops on the nightstand and just take them before you go to sleep. It couldn't be any more complicated. And at first I wasn't sure, I was a little depressed because I only lost 6 pounds in like 10 days. But Mike is going, it's coming, honey, it's coming. But what I noticed was the inflammation. So there's so many non-scale wins that happened immediately. And then all of a sudden the fat just started to melt off. Fast forward into my 90th day, I had lost 34 pounds. I went from size 18 to size 9. Along with some of the other products, the MOA, I love, love, love. Gone all kinds of achy in my toes and fingers. But I want to say as well, the inflammation, all my rings, that's the downside. You have to get your rings resized because all the inflammation just completely went away. I feel super young. I feel like I'm 35 years old. So I'm not going to tell you how old I really am. I have really high energy. We've got lots of stairs here at our little resort. So I'm up and down the stairs all the time. I sleep like a baby and I just feel so great. In fact, even though I got to my goal weight, Billy, I don't stop taking the drops because I just like how I feel. I really like it. And now, of course, with the commissions that I earn with the company, I basically get my product free. And I suggest to everybody that they do that as well. Get your product free from this company so you can enjoy all your products and prosper and enjoy great health. So I've shared it with Team in Canada, and now we've got a massive team. I'm so grateful. I've got the best team in the world. And I've seen from so many people the results that they're experiencing as well. So I say, hallelujah, we got drops on the ground in Canada. Now we can do lots of volume. You can approach retail outlets, and financial crazy is en route for you. I mean, the sky's the limit now. And I want everyone to take it upon themselves to give that focus to helping others. I host a call twice a week, Billy, and in these calls, out of 6 people, every testimonial, I hear so many miracle stories of how the drops have not only helped lose 20, 30, 40, 55 pounds, but so many other situations that have actually helped them for their doctor to get them off their medications as well. So it's a lot more than just 20 pounds. I call them my God's miracle drops.
It is amazing. And Risha, can you actually post the details for your call in the group or in the chat for us? Because
I'd love to.
there's lots of people on here on this call that I think would really benefit from your call. I love your calls. They're super
Thank you.
informative, and I love the dive that you take. You always take a little deeper dive into other products as well. So definitely put that because that's at 8 p.m. Mountain Time tonight. So in about 90 minutes time. So if you guys like what you hear tonight, jump over onto Risha's call and check it out as well. So
Thank you,
thanks
Billy.
for
It's
sharing
a
that,
pleasure to
Risha.
talk to you. You
Yeah,
betcha.
thank you. And thanks for sharing. And I think what a great way to kick it off. I love what Risha said, not only about her testimonial, but just about how she, even though she hit her goal weight, she didn't stop taking the drops and because of how they make her feel. And so I love that. So welcome to the call, Todd. Thanks for being here. You're probably rushing home. You're such a busy guy. So thank you for taking some time with us tonight. We appreciate you. Um, so I'm just going to, what I would love you to do is just introduce yourself to everybody. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your history with the drops, and then I've got some questions lined up for you, and we'll just kind of roll through them and answer everybody's questions and kind of keep it casual. And, but as always, I always hear so many nuggets whenever you share about these products. I know everybody's going to get a lot from this. So tell everybody, who is Todd Rowland and how did you get to know about these drops? Oh, you're muted. One sec. This is not Todd's first Zoom, you guys. We're gonna bug you a little bit, Todd. It's okay. He's probably on two devices, or we might have him thrown off because we're on one. We're logged in as him on one and logged in as him on another.
I just wasn't
Okay,
plugged
can
in.
we hear you now?
You got me?
Yeah, we got you. We
Okay,
got you. So,
fantastic. Well,
okay, so
great
who's
to
Todd
be
Rowland?
great to be with you tonight, Billy, and Canada. Canada is amazing. Y'all are the most impressive group of people the last year in this company that I've ever seen. Like the potential that lies in front of all of you is beyond your scope of imagination. For those of you that bite into this and build, you are first in a company that is going to become one of the biggest companies our industry's ever seen. And you're in a country that outside of a few little pockets on the western side of your country, it doesn't exist in our company. So you've got the whole country to build. And the great thing about it, most of you know this already, but Canada is the gateway to the world. So those of you that build in Canada will quickly have business throughout the world. You'll go to Australia, you'll go to China, and you'll go all throughout Europe as you guys have so many immigrants there now, and they're all hungry for better, just like we are here in the States and just like most Canadians are. So that is how we all end up in network marketing is we all want better in life. It's not that we really grow up to do this industry. We just all grow up. And for my wife and I was a high school football coach. She was a mom of a stay-at-home mom of four children. And high school football coaches here in the States do not get paid enough to facilitate that and maintain any type of normal financial life. And we found ourselves living paycheck to paycheck. And I hated it. I had grown up in a middle class family. My dad was a CPA. We weren't wealthy, but I also didn't necessarily want for anything. I had decent shoes, good clothes. We could do what we needed to do when we needed to. And in my low 30s, I found myself unable to do that for my children. We were very tight. We couldn't even go out to eat after church on a Sunday. And our goal initially wasn't to lose weight or to get more energy or better sleep. Our goal was to create an income flow into our house to get us above water financially. And it happened. And I will tell you, it's the greatest industry in the world because we can all start here in Canada for less than 40 Canadian dollars. You have a business. You have a line of products that help everything from weight loss to hormones to better sleep to more energy. So just as Risha just said, in the process of becoming better physically, we have an opportunity if we choose to become better financially. And I will tell you, this is the grandest opportunity that I've ever seen all of my life in this industry. I just think that everything is set up here to do something that has never been done in the last 30 years in the network marketing industry. If you're familiar with our industry at all, there's only been a few companies that got really big, meaning the ones that got to be that 6, 7, 8, 9, $10 billion range. And most of those all started in the 60s and 70s. And I really was determined that it might not happen again in the industry. It didn't mean that there weren't good companies, but there's a lot of dynamics at play to get licensed in the countries we're licensed in, 50 plus countries. It's millions of dollars per country. As you guys have witnessed in Canada, what it's taken to get drops on the ground there, to get everything legal. And then hopefully within the next 12, 18 months to have actually manufacturing on the ground in Canada and really get y'all off and away. You're talking about probably when that's all said and done, $10 million have been invested. And you start multiplying that out over 50 countries, and it just becomes unfeasible for startup companies to do that in today's world. So Darren and John were able to buy the asset of a few companies and get these licensed, and here we all sit. And you guys, I think the call maybe is more focused on day and night drops. So that's where we'll spend our time tonight. So you guys now officially have our number one product in the world available with license in Canada. No more coming across the border from anywhere. It is shipping in from Europe in bulk. It came over on a big airplane, but the shipment on a ship is on en route now, where you'll be supplied for the year, where there will be no limitations on anything. I think that'll be arriving here fairly soon. And then the goal is to manufacture them within Canada here in the next 12, 18 months. They're searching that out now. My opinion, real quickly, Billy, and then you ask all the questions you want, is if you're taking this product for weight loss, I think the day and night drops are probably better than the slenderized drops by a factor of 1.5. If you don't know this already, the day and night drops are used in 80% of the world. Very few people have access to the slenderized we use here in the States. The homeopathic version, there's a lot of science behind homeopathy. There is a niche of people that really love that world. I've got my master's in nutrition, and I was never taught anything on homeopathy. I had to learn it all dealing with the day and night drops. And it's quite confusing. People get confused on ingredients because they're microdosed. And sometimes if you just Google them, you get negative things. So I will tell you, the day and night drops have none of that. You're using straight nutrition. You're using a herbal and vitamin mineral approach. And so I'm going to just tell you, you just heard Risha. By the way, Risha is in her 60s. I won't say her exact age, but it's like
She's a babe.
almost mid 60s. And every time I see her, her skin looks younger. She looks dynamite. So like, it's not just the 34 pounds she's lost, but she, in my opinion, looks a decade younger than she did when she joined our company almost a year ago now. And I don't know if she shared this or not. I got in a little bit late, but not only did she lose that 35 pounds, but she began to sell her way where she didn't have to pay for her own product. And it's now created a total financial independent situation for her. So the day and night drops, great for sleep. It's got L-theanine in it in that night bottle, and the ones that are taking it throughout Europe, throughout Australia, they always are bragging every time I see them in person, how much better they sleep, how much easier it is, because you only have to take those night drops one time a day before you go to bed. You don't have to be factoring in 2 bottles 3 times every day. And then the day drops, which is a herbal approach to the weight loss. I'm not going to get real in depth on the ingredients. Kristen White did that video. You can kind of listen to that. But I do have a couple of slides if you want me to pull them up in a second and explain exactly what they're going to do.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great. I was going to ask you, you actually just answered my first couple of questions. One question that I would go back and ask you is, if somebody does not necessarily feel like they have weight to lose, but they maybe are looking more for their hormonal support, what would your recommendation be?
Okay, let me pull this up real quick. So being a nutritionist, not a doctor, I have to go more with the anecdotal stories more than making health claims. So when we get into the hormonal side, there ends up being a lot of health claims involved. So here's what I will tell you, is everybody in Canada has access to order a box for yourself of the homeopathic version. So the anecdotal evidence I have using the homeopathic version for the last decade for hormonal support for women, the stories I've heard, it doesn't seem to help 100% of the women, but at an 80 percentile range, the stories we hear, from no more night sweats to no more brain fog to more energy to feeling better, sometimes all issues going away, we know they work. You'll see here in the day drops, I'm just going to quote Dr. Plant. That's all I can do right now, because I have not had a lot of personal business throughout Europe and Australia or Asia. I've got people, but I just don't work with it closely enough to really have the anecdotal stories. I am working with all you guys in Canada much closer. So over the next 3 or 4 or 5 months, we'll be collecting the data from all the women of how they're actually feeling, because to me, that's more important than any science I can ever share. But there are several ingredients in here that suppress the ghrelin hormone, and also help with the serotonin levels on the hormonal support. There is nothing in the in bottle one of the slenderized version, the homeopathic version that we have in the States, that is specific to balancing women's hormones. That actually came out of left field. And here is what our top scientist said to us, to me, at the last convention. And he's doing a clinical study on it right now to find out if his hunch is correct. Here's what he said. He said that everything begins in the gut, and sugar feeds the bad bacteria of the gut. So as long as we're eating lots of sugar, especially liquid sugar, we're not taking care of ourselves. We have this just flora of bad gut bacteria, which then throws the body out of kilter in a lot of areas. But for menopausal age women and even younger, it can really throw hormones off. So his thought pattern is, because we're limiting the sugar, we're suppressing that ghrelin hormone, and we're getting the gut healthier. I always encourage women to include the probiotic in on their regimen, especially if they have hormonal problems. It's a big addition, because that puts the good gut bacteria in there. We don't suppress it with the bad bacteria we're feeding with sugar. But he thinks that our hormonal changes that we're having in these women all over the place is way more because of that than any particular ingredient that's in the slenderized. So that being said, my gut feeling is we're going to get the exact same results with day one or bottle one of the day drops. And the reason for that is, in the people that tell me, the appetite, I believe, is suppressed way more with the day and night drops than it is with the slenderized, which gives people even more ability to cut that sugar out, which, both follow the same approved food list. So that's the best I got for tonight, Billy, but we're going to be collecting the evidence and hopefully sharing a lot more over time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. So that's cool. Do you want to click over to bottle 2 and just tell us about the main benefits of that while you're there?
Yeah, so there's several ingredients in there that promote a deeper sleep and decrease stress. This is probably, and also affect mood in a positive way, which is obviously what we're getting with the slenderized version too. That's what a lot of women say. They're just in a better mood. They feel better. So in the slenderized version, you've got the B12, you got the ashwagandha. So I don't have personally all the ingredients memorized on the top of my head on day and night. I will get them memorized. I am now all in on it. I was supposed to have them already done, but I took a couple of weeks off heading into what y'all's July 1st Canada Day, our July 4th American founding day. I kind of take off 2 weeks every year there and at Christmas. So I'm just re-engaged this morning, and I just have not got it totally accomplished yet. But here is what Dr. Plant says. He says different ingredients to get the same exact result. And it's done all the time around the world from a nutritional standpoint. So you can take one herb, one homeopathic ingredient. They're totally different, but the desired result in the body is exactly the same. It's just a different approach to it. And obviously you guys know in Canada that the homeopathic version, you have to have a official doctor's license to actually sell up there. That's the reason we can't use that for a selling standpoint up there. You can use it NFR from the United States for personal consumption. No issue with that at all. But I do believe that we're going to see way, way, way better results on the weight loss. And my gut tells me that we may get equal, and there's potential for even better mood, energy, and hormonal balance with the day and night drops. We'll be collecting the evidence. Every time y'all get stories, we need to share those and kind of build that arsenal up.
So this is my call to action. If you are someone watching the recording, you're a customer, you are going to be a customer, you've maybe just ordered and you've received this recording, please share your feedback with the person that you're getting your drops from, because it's very helpful for us to learn. It's also very helpful for you if you're, if there's something going on that we can help you with or help troubleshoot, then it's really helpful from that standpoint. So just a little shout out there to share those results. Send a text if you wake up feeling great, or the scale is down, or your pants are feeling better, or you're having the best sleep of your life. Be sure to share that with us. So anything else you want to share on the main benefits of bottle 1 and 2?
Give me one. I'm texting Kristen White to see if she can hop on here with us real quick.
Sure. And so one of the questions that I know many people have asked me and I'm just going to talk about the price real quick. While Todd does that. So the price is not going to change. I love that. In Canada, the price is the same. So until September 1st, we've got special introductory pricing on the drops. So if you have been on a subscription, if you have, from a retail perspective, if you've just been buying from your brand partner, your drops are, everything stays the same. So there's no change there. There will be a slight price increase in September. But right now, and it's very slight, I will say, but right now it's very, just all business as usual. And my advice would be that if you are using the original drops, the slits, the US version, and you're on a subscription and you're super happy, my advice would be keep it as is. Would you say the same, Todd?
I absolutely would. I
Yeah.
would. And, with both versions, following that approved food list is imperative. And I'm going to go back to what our top scientist said, the one that has actually been working with Noni for 28 years or 27 years. He was really, really, really adamant, and that's why he's running this clinical study, that it wasn't any ingredient in the homeopathic version that was creating all of this hormonal support for menopausal women. It was us not putting the sugar in the gut and feeding the bad bacteria, which was creating all of this menopausal extremeness, I guess we could say, that so many women are having, and estrogen and progesterone levels being so low. So, my I personally believe with all of my heart that over the next 6 months we're going to get equal stories, maybe better stories with the day and night, and there's no doubt we're going to get better weight loss stories. There's zero doubt in my mind on that.
So make sure you take pictures, make sure you take measurements, because I know that sometimes the pictures, people think, well, I don't want to take pictures, like I don't like what I see. But I really want to encourage people, take those pictures and take the measurements, even if you don't share the pictures with anybody but yourself. Take the measurements as well, because I've had times where I've had no movement on the scale, but like lost 13 inches in that month. So those are two really key things. Now, Todd, can I ask you a quick question about sleep? Why
Absolutely.
is so the big thing with the night drops is they help with that deep restorative sleep. Can you comment why and how weight loss or sleep is so key to weight loss? Can you talk about the connection there?
Listen, if you want to do something for free that changes your whole chance to live a long, healthy life, drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day. Don't put any liquid sugar or artificial sweeteners in your body. Sleep, depending on your body, 6 to 8 hours uninterrupted every night. That pulls down your cortisol and it allows every cell in your body to reboot. And then do some type of movement. It doesn't have to be any type of vigorous exercise, but some type of movement 40 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week. Dr.
Mhm.
Strand has, if you read his book, Healthy Body for Life, those three things are free and it changes everything. And by the way, Billy, Kristen just came in with us. So, Kristen, I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple specific questions that I just need specific answers to. So, if so, what we've been talking about, Kristen, and I'm not sure how much you've dug into this yet, but the hormonal support that we get from our slenderized drops. Um, are there any specific ingredients that you see inside the day or night drops you think will aid in that?
Well, there's specific ingredients that will help with the hormonal support when it comes to like the hunger hormones. So we're going to be going into like the ghrelin and the leptin. So we're talking about those, and also specifically the cortisol levels and insulin. Those are going to be more tackled, I think, with the day and night drops. That we're going to get the better satiated cues and hunger cues. I honestly think those are going to be like really big factors when it comes to the day and night drops compared to slenderized drops. And I think there's going to be some significant changes in the night drops when it comes to cortisol levels and the way that the sleep, the relaxation, because there are specific ingredients that will promote really wonderful relaxation, specifically because you're taking them right before you go to bed. And those also will help with some insulin things right before bed. The L-glutamine specifically will help with insulin sensitivity, and that's right before you go to bed. If you can get that and your insulin receptors down, and you're making your body more insulin sensitive right before sleep too, your recovery is going to be good and your blood sugars will stay more stable through the night. The L-theanine is also going to help you relax at night, which will also help cortisol specifically, which will help obviously with the weight loss. I think those with the hormonal balance is what that's what I'm going to take away from the day and night drops with the hormones.
So, Kristen, I said the same thing because that top scientist that came to us from Miranda with Noni, he shared at the convention that he felt like that we were getting all the hormonal support, not based on any ingredient in the Sunrise, but by the appetite control, people not putting sugar in their body and growing out the bad bacteria in their gut, which creates all that craziness in the body.
Yes. And I just like the more you research these, and I have been now, these specific ingredients actually like target those like hormone specifically, like saying, hey, I'm full, hey, I'm hungry, hey, chill out, hey, insulin come down, hey, metabolism work better. Like it just like these are some really awesome ingredients. Like I'm kind of want to try a set myself to see if they are a little different. But
for those that don't know Kristen, that are here kind of the first time tonight, Kristen at one point was the top CrossFitter in Tennessee. She's been featured in Muscle and Fitness magazine multiple years. Actually, they ranked her, I think, the #2 most fit woman a couple years running. And she's a marathoner. She's a cyclist. She trains professional athletes from all over the country. And she is the one on the video that explains your day and night drops that are in your boards. So she, in my opinion, knows more about all the products than any of us, but the day and night drops are new to both she and I. So we're both in our learning curve, collecting our stories and making sure everything we say is accurate.
And I'm like super excited about these days, like, because obviously we do the other drops in America, but as I was growing my team in Australia and Canada, I'm like, I got to learn more about these. And I'm like, man, these are some good ingredients. Like the adaptogens in here, like I'm so like stoked about these ingredients. Y'all are going to get some amazing results with them. I think someone asked how you take them. I just saw that in the chat. The day drops are an hour before you eat. The night drops an hour or two before bed. I believe that is the 20 to 30 minutes before you eat, and then the night drops an hour or two before bed. You should not eat after you take the night drops.
Awesome.
There you go. 20 to 30 minutes before eating. Yes.
Somebody is muted. I'm just trying
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna check it for you right now.
and find who that is.
I always know when Sarah's not
And
here.
so the other question that I would have for either of you is, can you talk about how important the nutrition is in conjunction with, these are not a magic pill that you can take and then eat whatever you want. So can you talk about the importance of nutrition and how that's just going to amplify your results?
Do you want to take that one, or do you want me to?
Oh, well, I think we both should. I'll just say one thing and then turn it over to Kristen. You can go look at some of Kristen's pictures. She has better abs today at 40 than she ever has. And I've known Kristen's dad all of my life. She came from not good genes for working out. Like if she wants to make money, her dad was a money-making machine, but he was not. He ate Snickers bars. I ate protein bars as we used to travel the world together. But Kristen has overcome it all by exercise and diet. And if you ever talk to anybody from the world of bodybuilding, any of those worlds, the aesthetic look, the abs, they don't come from working out harder. They come from the decisions you make with the fork. You can never outrun the fork, especially if you're a woman and above the age of 35. It's just not going to happen. Exercise is good for you, but it does not take the weight off. You must eat from what's called a low glycemic food index, the keto diet, the paleo diet, all of those diets are actually all the same. They're marketed differently to make money, but they're literally the same. That's the reason we just called ours the approved food list, because they all have to follow it. And if you look at all of those diets, don't look at how they market it. Look at the foods you can't have. You cannot have simple sugars and simple carbs that spike your insulin, because insulin is a storage hormone. And especially if you're a woman above 35, Once you spike insulin for the day, you may not gain weight that day, but you are not going to be turning your fat burning machine on. I don't care if you run 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles. You're going to have to eat to not spike insulin. That's the reason I love, for especially women, intermittent fasting is wonderful. You can intermittent fast all you want to. But once you decide to eat, do not eat anything that spikes insulin. Start your day with a healthy fat, avocado, macadamia nuts, olives, whatever it may be, and a lean piece of meat or eggs. Eggs and avocado are my favorite meal for a lady to start her day with. Don't spike that insulin with any type of cereal, bread, you name it. And that, just follow the approved food list, and it makes life really, really simple. And you can learn to cook from it. And there are a ton of recipe books that you can have really good tasting things. So that being said, I'll turn it over to the real expert now.
Well, no, I mean, that's really it. If you look at the approved foods list, I always just tell everybody I talk to the program about, it's just real food. And the marketing, or the food industry is really marketed to us to trick us. They market at you with low sugar or low fat, or they say high protein. And it's really just, fillers, binders, preservatives. There's no cellular nutrition in it. And what your body really wants is micronutrients attached with those macros, which is proteins, fats, carbs, right? But your bladder needs cellular nutrition and micronutrients. Your eyes need it, your brain needs it, like your muscles need it. And the only way you're really going to get the right things is by eating whole foods, stuff that expires, stuff that rots. And that's literally what's on the approved foods list. And that's why we say you can eat as much as you want from it. I always get told, like, well, it says 1,200 calories, or I'm supposed to eat, yes, 1,200 is the minimum, or, but we're really just trying to get you to learn what calories are as well. Like, you're having a plate of certain calories here, a plate of cucumbers to a plate of cookies. Like, you need to know where your calories are coming from, but it's not a bona fide measuring tool. But just know it's supposed to, your body needs cellular energy, and it's going to come from those micronutrients. And when you give your body that, it knows what to do, and your body will perform much better, whether that's just living, breathing, or exercising, whatever that's supposed to be. So It's just the right way to eat.
Yeah, and to tie all that together, the drops balance your body. They're gonna, and you guys got the herbal approach to balancing thyroid, to stabilizing cortisol secretion, to suppressing the ghrelin hormone, which is the hunger hormone. That's all in your drops too, just like it's in ours. Different ingredients, same result. And then with that balanced body, it gives you the ability to make good decisions. So people ask me often, can I lose weight if I just eat from the approved food list? And the answer is yes. But why haven't you already? Why haven't I already? I've got my degree in nutrition. I've had it for 30 years, and there have been times over the 30 years that I've carried 30 pounds too much. And it's not because I didn't know what not to eat. It's because I didn't have the discipline day in and day out. The body is a living organism. It's going to adapt to what you do to it today, not yesterday. The biggest joke in the world is when somebody tells me they rebounded from a diet. Of course you did, because you went back to eating the old way and the body adapted to it. That's the reason you lost weight when you're eating correctly. And what I have found, I'm just going to give a personal testimony on the drops, period. And I think the day and night drops will be way more effective on this than our drops. I'm getting them for myself already. We can order them from the NFR cart down here. We finally got it opened up, so we're ordering it and to get them en route. Because what I find with the drops is when I'm on the drops, I don't have to muscle the decision. My kids order, as they did over this weekend. There's 3 or 4 large pizzas sitting on my counter when I walk in the front door. If I'm not on the drops, I have to make a physical hard decision. Don't eat the pizza. Or if I eat a piece of pizza, don't eat 10 pieces of pizza. Like, you cut it off. If I'm on the drops, that decision doesn't have to be made. It doesn't taste good. I don't want it. I'm not hungry for it. So, and our clinical study proved that, and you'll see in the clinical study, if you ever read the actual study, it's a pretty boring read, but what it says basically is there were 3 groups of people. There were people that ate from the approved food list. There were people that ate from the approved food list that took the placebo, meaning they weren't really drops. And then there was the group that took the drops and ate from the approved food list. The group that took the drops and ate from the approved food list lost 2 times more weight than the other 2 groups. But the placebo group and the group just eating from the diet, the biggest thing in that clinical study was is plus 30% of the participants did not finish the study. They actually dropped out before it was completed, and no one dropped out of the study that was actually on the correct drops. And the reason they dropped out is they didn't have the discipline to finish.
Wow. It's pretty impressive. Anything you want to add to that, Kristen?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, not only are they, someone said liquid discipline, yes, they completely are. Staying on the approved food list, you would lose weight, and there are ingredients in here that are gonna help you stay on the approved food list. But there are also gonna be some ingredients that will just also, besides the approved food list, keeping your insulin stable, there's going to be ingredients that will help support insulin levels too. So again, if those are not doing this, you're not having those fluctuations with your hunger in general. Just from the food list is going to work itself, but the ingredients will also keep working itself. So you're getting the double-edged sword of it working for you in your favor. So that's also a reason why the drops help you stay stabilized and stay on program, because you're not having the energy crashes, you're not having those carb cravings, everything's running like this, and everything's working in favor at that point. And then then there's other things in there in the drops. Your digestion's working better, your energy's working better. Well, maybe you didn't have energy 2 weeks ago to just get up and do household stuff, and now you find yourself, oh, I feel like doing that. Well, then in a month, you're like, well, I actually feel like exercising. Again, I always say this isn't about just weight loss. It really is about the lifestyle and wellness, because we just want people to get their lives back. And this is to just be a tool to that. Because someone just said, everything starts working better. It really does. The mind, the stomach, the mood, the energy, everything starts going. And that's where it is. That's why we call them body balance, because everything just starts going in favor.
We're so, as Kristen said a second ago, we are so manipulated by the food industry. If you don't know this, everything on the front of a box or a bag is a lie. Everything. Whatever it says to get you to buy it, low sugar, blah, 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 blah. There's no regulation on it. The only regulation is actually on the food label. You have to learn how to read food labels and see simple carbs and sugar without fiber attached. You just saw Risha at 63, 4, 5 years old. She looks like she's 40. Her skin's impeccable. Her story was amazing. She lost 34 pounds. But if you heard her, she also said all of her inflammation went away. Neither day and night drops nor the Slenderize have specific ingredients actually attacking the inflammation. What's going on is cutting off the sugar supply, and sugar is like pouring gasoline on a fire when it comes to the inflammation and the hurt in your body. When you feed your body the right things, it just feels better. It looks better. It lives longer. It's funny how we know that if we drive a car that requires gasoline, that we would never, under any circumstance, pull up to a gas station and put diesel in it on purpose. Because if you do, the car is going to blow up and it's never going to work again. It's mechanical. It will not adjust to putting the wrong fuel in it. But yet, as human beings that only get one chance here on this earth to live, daily we put diesel in our gasoline engines. And that's what these day and night drops are going to be designed for, is to help you make better decisions, just like you do for your car. Keep it running, keep it healthy, let it live longer, healthier. The top doctor that actually was a part of developing these drops, she's not with Partner Co. I know her very, very well, but she used to always have this saying she would say, that it's not about living to 90. It's about living to 90 and still living, not being in some nursing home where, you're having to be protected from crazy, older people that have lost their mind or trying to break in your room at nighttime. Like we all deal with this with older people that we know are in those places. Like, who wants to end their life that way? We want to live long and healthy until God calls us home. And it's all going to depend on what you're putting in your body and the movement that you get your body. It'll work a long time if you treat it right.
So true. That's so true. It's like you read my mind when you talked about the inflammation, and inflammation is the root of all disease. And so we're basically like, I love, someone told me it's been a year now since I started using these drops. And someone told me the best explanation that I got for it is think of the drops like a fire extinguisher. And what they're going to do for everyone is they're going to go in there, going to put out the fires in your body first. And that's why my last question for you would be um giving it time. Can you talk about giving it time? Because people might not see in 30 days, 2 weeks. How can you help somebody manage their expectations around what the drops are designed to do, um, in terms of giving it enough time and allowing your body a chance to really heal and that cellular turnover? Can you talk about that?
I would say that most people that end up 50, 100, or even 150 pounds overweight, that nobody did that to themselves in a couple of months. What happens is over time, we put on 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds a year. You start multiplying that times a decade. We don't make any changes. And in a decade, we look up one day in the mirror like, who is that in the mirror? Why do none of my clothes fit anymore? Why can't I button my pants? So, like, don't think we can fix everything in a day. I will tell you, if you drink half your body weight in water, you get your sleep, you take the drops correctly every day, you let them really stay in that mouth and sublingually absorb well, and you eat 100% from the approved food list, you're going to lose weight, and you're going to lose it quickly. Um, Depending on what else is going on in the body. So if you're showing up here with a thyroid that is just totally out of whack, you've got hormones totally out of whack, like, the drops can't fix that in 2 days. Heck, some of you've been on medication for a decade that hasn't fixed it. You're still dealing with the exact same thing. So, like, don't be impatient. Follow the directions, eat from the approved food list, drink your water, stay away from the artificial sweeteners and the liquid sugar. Those are the two biggest things that set you back. When you put liquid sugar in your body and you're what's called metabolically dysfunctional, insulin insensitive, there's lots of names for it. What it is that your body is just not what they call fat adapted. It cannot switch over from your glucose burning to your glycogen burning, which is the sugar stored in your liver and muscles, and then into a fat cell. Fat cells, not the body doesn't view fat as fat. It views it as stored energy. It's your third energy system. And until that glucose and glycogen is kind of burned through, the body won't burn fat for energy, which is what creates the weight loss. So if you're metabolically dysfunctional, that system isn't working well in your body. You've got to give it some time to heal. And depending on where you start, depends on how long it takes for it to heal. But I will tell you, I have seen some really hard losers. PCOS women, meaning polycystic ovarian syndrome, that makes you really insensitive. I've seen full-blown type 2 diabetics, 150 pounds overweight, lose all 150 pounds, come off of all insulin and all medication, not because of the drops, but because of the dietary modifications that they made. No, I'll give you a disclaimer. Our drops are not going to fix your type 2 diabetes. But dietary modification absolutely can make a huge difference in your blood sugar levels, and it will do it very quickly. And if you don't know this, if you're dealing with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, those are the three markers. If you have two of those things that I just said that are high, you're metabolically dysfunctional. You have insulin insensitivity. 70% of the world has it, and it all-cause mortality is increased by tenfold. According to most doctors, according to our doctor, Dr. Strand, he says you're 25 times more likely to have a cardiovascular event or be diagnosed with cancer if you're walking around with insulin insensitivity. 70% of the world does it. That's the reason that we have such a catastrophe right now with cancer and cardiovascular disease. And it's all about what we're putting in our body. So we can affect blood sugar stability very quickly with dietary modifications. And then those three things, the blood pressure, the high bad cholesterol, they start trending downward over time. That's generally 6 months to a year to clean those things up with the dietary modification, especially if you'll get a little bit of movement in. Exercise also helps with that. Drink your water, stay away from the liquid sugar.
Awesome.
Which includes alcohol.
Yes.
I live at
That's
the
a hard
beach.
one. It's a hard one for
And
people, but it's possible. It's doable, right?
yes.
Um,
So
and
let me say this one last thing, Billy, because this is the number one showstopper. I live at the beach, and I learned years ago when I was talking about the drops and home parties with women at the beach, there was never one home party that I did that some woman didn't say, as they were drinking their wine and listening, say to me, can we still have our wine? The answer is, if you're in maintenance, having a glass of wine or two periodically, a couple days a week, is no setback. Generally not going to make you gain any weight. But wine is sugar. There's no such thing as any wine that exists on planet Earth that does not have sugar. Some wines are better than others. All wine is sugar. That's how it's made. It's fermented sugar. Grapes. Grapes are not on our approved food list, by the way. They're straight sugar. You cannot have them in the weight loss phase. So if I am here today and I say, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 2 months, I want to feel better, I want my inflammation to go down, then go all in and get the desired results, and then you can put it back in moderation, and you won't necessarily gain it back. Doesn't make you gain, but it does spike insulin and keep you from losing. And
Yes.
take that for what you will. You know, I'm not telling anybody not to drink. I'm just saying it will slow down the weight loss
At the end,
progress.
and at the end of the day, you just got to ask yourself, what do I want more? Right? What do I want more? Right? So, okay, one last question for you. And I get asked this a lot. I was talking with someone today, asking me a question about just building the business and what it's looked like. And she's like, where did your team come from? And I'm like, honestly, happy customers. Happy customers, people that are, people start the drops for the fat loss, the weight loss, the hormone balancing, the body balancing, those types of things. And once they experience the results and how simple it is, a lot of people start wondering, they think, well, could I actually share this too? So from your experience, why do you think these products have become just such a powerful door opener for people looking to create an income stream alongside their wellness goals? I know you touched on it, but if you could just readdress or, revisit that as we wrap up the call, that'd be great.
Well, let's start with this. Here in the United States, 90% of the households live paycheck to paycheck. Professionals are struggling. Two household income. Mom is a nurse. Dad is some professional job making 100,000 a year. They live paycheck to paycheck down here now. It's like the top 7-8% that are actually able to do what they want to monthly and not really have to think about it financially. So you do that in Canada with the exchange rate. If y'all travel anywhere so bad right now, especially if you come down to the States, you have to put a multiplier on effect on it. It's even harder in Canada right now financially than it is here. So we know that everybody wants at least a discount. So that's one reason people get started with us. They pay their $37.95, so they don't have to pay retail anymore. That saves $50 right there. Tell me one woman on planet Earth that wants to pay retail if they know there is a difference. And then they quickly realize that the posts that they saw are not unique to the person posting them. It's the system behind it, and they can be given the system for free, make the same post, and have people buy from them. And if they'll just sell 3 boxes a month, then their box is completely for free. So tell me, again, one woman on planet Earth that doesn't want to do this for free. So like you got a way to do it for free. And then that third step is once they realize it actually works and can actually work for them, because we all doubt ourselves. Tell me anybody that does something new that doesn't have self-doubt in that new journey. It doesn't matter. It really didn't matter how successful you have been at something else. When you start something that you're unfamiliar with, it's like, could I do this? I don't even know the answer. I don't know what's in the drops. How could I actually sell a box of it? It's because you got Kristen on a 5 or 6 minute video that you're going to send to explain it for you, the one you just got to meet tonight in person. So then they realize that not only can I get my box for free, but I could actually create some income and help other people get theirs for free. And if I start doing that, then I start creating a residual income. And I not only create enough money to maybe start getting myself out of debt and maybe financially ahead, but I create a residual income which can give me time freedom. So Billie, I know that y'all are a big horse family. And if there's anything I know about horses, I don't know a lot, but I know a lot of people down here in the States, we call them expensive yard art. They cost a lot of money, especially if you're showing them. And it costs a lot of time if your kids are in competitions. You're always needing to be somewhere off of work. So maybe you could finish that out by just talking about the time freedom that this industry's given you.
Honestly, I've grown up. I say I've grown up in this industry because I started in the network marketing industry when I was 23. I was waiting tables and working as an insurance agent. And literally it gave me the opportunity to raise myself really in my 20s and grow up and live a lot of life and experience a lot of things. But, even just in the last year, I started using these drops a year ago, and I called up my friend Anne a year ago, and I was like, all right, tell me more, because I was feeling these results that we've been talking about. And she told me more, and I thought, well, I'm just going to sell a few. I was the girl that just wanted to pay for my drops, sell a few, make a few extra bucks. I did that and then some. But what I did was in the meantime, I watched and I learned and I watched, and I really wanted to see what kind of people were here. Because knowing what I know about the industry, I know that the people are everything, and also the system. And so one of the things that I love about what is happening at Partner Co for myself and all of us on this call that are building is that we have we literally, I told that same friend this morning, I said, here's the thing. I can tell you today with the click of a button, I can show you exactly how to get your business started. I can show you exactly what you need to start doing. And in 24 hours, you will be making money. And I don't know any other, I definitely didn't have that where I came from before. And that's what I love about what we have here is that we have a system for success. What you don't have to be is an expert content creator. You don't have to know how to make fancy reels, fancy posts, use pretty fonts, any of that. What you do have to be willing to do is set some timers in your phone, be coachable, put your ego aside, and put your ego aside is
That's
probably the
probably the
biggest
biggest
thing.
one. I think that's what a lot of us struggle with. I know I struggled
Yeah.
with it early on.
Yeah, and be coachable, and literally if you do have experience in this industry, put all that aside. But what I will tell you is that what will happen is, and I remember you telling me back in January when I said, okay, I'm going to start building the team. You're going to be like, wait till you see this start to grow. And what's happening now for our family is incredible. And, my husband he hauls cattle and grain with everything going on with the economy. He hasn't worked in 2 weeks. And, we're not sweating it out over here. Like we because of the work that's been happening, and I said in March, I said, I don't know what's going to be happening in the summer, but we're going to be taken care of. And thank goodness for Partner Go, it's taking care of us. So it's an incredible company. I can't say enough. And I would invite everybody to take a further look. If you're like, you know what, I'm living with a little more money at the end of or a little more month at the end of my money than I have money at the end of the month, then you should talk to the person that shared this with you 100%, because they can show you a better way for sure. So
Billy, let me say this as everybody gets off. There's about 94 people, or about 90 people now, 88 that have stuck with us the whole time, which is quite amazing. I will tell you that if you've stuck with us this long, you're committed to something, physically and or financially. Like really commit. Like give yourself 30 days all in. No alcohol, half your body weight an ouncer, no liquid sugar. Put that approved food list up. Go print off some recipe books. If you don't like eating that food normally, there's a ton of great recipes you can cook from. Take the day and night drops correctly. And if improving your finances is the goal, post twice a day. Talk to those people on Messenger that are asking you questions. Learn how to use the boards correctly. Like, just do it every day for 30 days. And two things will happen. One, you're going to be blown away with your physical and financial success. But number two, you're going to create a habit and you're going to realize that this is not even hard. The reason people don't stick with this a lot of times is the inconsistency never allows them to create the habit and get comfortable with it. They're just hit and missing all the time. They eat correctly for 3 days and then they blow it. And if you don't know much about your body, if you're a middle-aged woman and you spike insulin crazy with 3 or 4 or 5 glasses of wine, you are not losing weight for at least 3 days. That's how long it takes to get that body back into fat burning mode. So every time you drink, it's 3 days before you can do it again. So I always tell people, much better than having a couple beers or a couple glasses of wine every night is just get totally blasted on a Saturday night. That way, at least 4 days of the week, you can lose weight. You'll have 3 days in between. Now, that's a joke, but scientifically, for losing weight, it's better for you.
yeah, there you go. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Todd. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to everybody that joined us tonight. And this is just makes me. I just got my drops today. I've taken them twice. I'm so excited to just get on a roll and to see you all at PXP and beyond. So thank you
Billy
again.
almost went president this week. So that means she's right at 3,000 a week in income.
Yeah.
Tell me, and she's only been with us not even a year yet. So who doesn't want to make 3,000 a week? Like, tell me one person.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a hockey mom and we have horses. Those are two of the most expensive things your kids could want to do. And that's what my kids want to do. But hey, I'm in the right place to be able to afford it all, right? So I'm just super excited, and I'm very, very grateful that this was shared with me, and that we, I got over myself and listened to my friend Anne. So thank you guys so much for being on here. We'll find the recording for this on Todd's YouTube channel. So get with the person that invited you. They can get you the recording if you don't know where that is. And we'll get you all going on the day and night drops, or the drops that suit you best. Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate you.